Hello, everyone. A very good evening to you all. I extend a very warm welcome to all of those who are present in this webinar. And it really feels very good to be a part of the Wellness Whispers webinar today. So, before I go ahead, I would just like to introduce myself. My name is Ritu. I'm a clarity coach and psychotherapist, and I'm the founder creator of my practice, Moving Minds Over Matter. So, my work is to understand our inbuilt T system: T for thoughts, E for emotions, and A for actions. And it's on the basis of this T system that I enable clients to identify their problems, to help them navigate their challenges, and move towards an outcome of their choice. In this way, they are helpful in implanting a change and create a sustained transformation in their life. So, as you know, today, the topic that we are going to be discussing about is the importance of metaphors. We've all heard about the word metaphors, what it means. We've all studied about it in school, but today I'm going to take a different take on metaphors with respect to its context with therapy. So, before we begin, I would just like you all to see a small video. So I'll just share that video and we'll just kickstart yeah, our webinar. Right.
Can't hear.
Can't hear?
No.
Okay. Why aren't you able to hear it?
No. So probably you can just tell the crux of the video because we can't hear.
Can't hear it. Okay. So the crux of the video was about metaphors, what we are going to be discussing today. And Mike Tyrrell, who's a very famous psychologist, a psychotherapist, he's trying to tell us that we usually resort to the metaphorical way of explaining things when we are very affected by certain things and we are not able to explain very logically. So, the most personal things which we feel very strongly about, we speak in terms of metaphors. So, that was to kickstart this webinar to be able to understand how metaphors figure out in any language, whether it is English, Hindi, throughout our daily lives, without us even realizing what their role is. So, now, for example, if I were to tell you that I had to prepare for this webinar and I had butterflies in my stomach ever since I've wanted to present this webinar. And I felt my mind has been like a long, unending, empty space where I have no clue what I'm going to talk about. And my heart is pacing like an excited child. So, by all these metaphors, what I'm trying to convey to you is a state of my thought, my emotion, the behavior that I'm going through, which I'm not able to explain to you in very logical terms. So, the quantity and the quality of what I'm feeling is effectively conveyed by means of metaphors. So, metaphors are what? Metaphors, we've learned them in school as a part of our English grammar curriculum. So, to just recapitulate that, they are just verbal expressions of what we are thinking, feeling, our emotions, our desires, our fears, anything that we intend to convey to the other person. And instead of conveying it in very straightforward and logical terms, we use symbolic and figurative words and phrases instead of directly saying them. Now, there could be a number of reasons what prevents us from sharing them directly. There could be a number of reasons. Maybe our inability to convey the effectiveness of what we are feeling. It could be a kind of comparison that we might want to tell the other person. For example, if we use a metaphor like my life is an open book, what does that mean? Can anyone tell me what does that mean if someone says my life is an open book?
It probably means that there is a lot of transparency in my life, and anybody and everybody would know just by probably meeting me or
Yeah.
going through my life, that what my life stands for. There is nothing, no hidden agenda, nothing that is hidden from anybody.
Right, right. Thank you so much for that answer. So that exactly means that my life is so open that I have nothing hidden, and I am what I look, I am that. What I speak, I am that. So there is no filter with whatever comes across to anyone from me. So this is a way of conveying to the other person through metaphors that the transparency I hold as an individual. Another metaphor, I feel lost, as if I'm stuck in a maze. So this is a very descriptive metaphor, trying to tell the other person the degree of feeling stuck and lost in a particular situation. I feel as if I'm drowning in misery. So this adds details to the extent of how miserable the person is, that the person is not even able to stay afloat in the face of the challenges that he or she may be going through. So, symbolically, like we are seeing through the examples, metaphors explain any situation that one is not able to convey in simple language. They are used to lay stress on the degree or the effect of anything that we want to add to our feelings. Now, metaphors can be used for anything, for conveying something positive, for conveying something negative. So, it's a very good mask for anyone to hide behind, you know. You don't have to bare yourself completely. You don't have to feel vulnerable. You don't have to be direct. So it's more comfortable for an individual to imply something under the garb of metaphors. At the same time, being successful in conveying what you are trying to say. So usually what happens is metaphors are employed by all age groups, by children, by adults, by our elders. So I had another video to show you about what a mother feels with respect to her child, about feeling completely stuck. So she says, I don't know why I just feel so stuck with my child around and I just can't manage to do anything else in my life. And that was just her way of saying that I'm never free with my child around. I always feel stuck, in unable to reach any positive outcome with him, as well as to do anything for myself in my own life. So that metaphor by itself conveyed a lot about her situation, that she felt stuck as a mother with respect to handling of her child, which was also impacting her personal focus in her life. So if we notice, young children on an everyday occasion express their love, hatred, thoughts, feelings through metaphors. For example, if you ask a child, how much do you love me? So he says, I will love you so much. I love you the amount of water is there in the sea, or, I love you like how huge the sky is. So these are all small indicators as to what is a mental and emotional state of any individual.
I love
So,
you to
like,
the moon and back. A
right,
very
right.
common one that we kind of
Very common
hear.
one. Yeah. And I think it speaks a lot. It speaks a lot. Like, I've often dealt with adolescents who are aspiring musicians, and they're like, I feel like a rock star on top of the world, when I've achieved this and when I've achieved that. So, metaphors are very, very integral part of our daily life. Now, like in couples, you are the dream of my life, or conversely, you're the nightmare of my life. They both translate into whatever the couple wants to say about each other. Or we've often heard as students, our teachers tell us, oh, whatever I say to you falls on deaf ears, you know. So you're just as deaf as a doorpost. So these are many examples. Now, thinking about the elderly, we've often heard of that Hindi way of when they say "Mera dil baith raha hai." What does that mean? My heart is sinking. So that's effectively able to convey what the individual is experiencing at that time. So now that we have understood metaphors in our daily life, what is their role in counseling, coaching, therapy? So, if you ask me as a mental health practitioner, I have felt that metaphors are very important diagnostic as well as therapeutic tools. Because we often are in a space of work where clients find it very difficult to even identify what they are suffering with, leave alone try to navigate through it. They find it so difficult to even explain what they are currently undergoing. So, they are very important tools that can help the client to transfer any kind of information to the therapist. It helps the client to break ice. It helps the client to break any kind of resistance or hesitation in addressing difficult, overwhelming situations that they may be facing. And at the same time, they are indicators which help the therapist to understand the actual state of the client. So it is like a compass towards whatever the client may be feeling at that time. And with this kind of an understanding, a subtle rapport is built between the client and the therapist, which forms a bridge, it forms a connect, which proves to be very helpful for the ongoing uh, dynamic that is established between the therapist and the client. So now, metaphors are very ambiguous. They mean different for different individuals. They're very unique to each individual. So some will say, I am happy as a sunshine. Some will say, I am happy like a gentle breeze. Some will say, I am happy like Jack in the Box. So each one of these cases is highlighting the emotion of happiness, but connecting it to a different form of the way they experience it. So it exactly tells us about what the individual is experiencing, in which quality is the individual experiencing the emotion of happiness. So, I mean, I would like to call metaphors like a double-edged sword. They are very, very helpful. They help you diagnose uh, whatever are the issues, and they also help as therapeutic tools. So, would anyone be able to make me understand how it can be used as a diagnostic tool? I mean, as mental health practitioners, how would we use it as a diagnostic tool?
So if somebody says, I feel as if I'm in a dark room
Mm-hmm.
and nothing to look forward to, or there's no light, or something like that. Is
Mm-hmm.
that right?
You're right, right. Yeah, so that if a client comes up and says that I feel I'm in a dark room, I have nothing to look forward to, so it is very indicative about the state of mind the
Yeah.
client is in currently. And that kind of gives us a kickstart into asking related questions to it. So that is like a lead, like clue the therapist gets. But at the same time, we have to be very mindful that these are not conclusive. We don't establish conclusions on the basis of these expressions. They are just indicators that enable us to kind of establish a connect with the mental and emotional state of the client, eventually nudging the client through open-ended questions about what is it that is making the client feel as if he's in a dark room and the absence of any light. So there are a number of ways in which we can use diagnostic metaphors. So now, being mental health practitioners, we have a number of modalities in diagnostic metaphors. For example, we have something called an abstract metaphor or a drawing analysis, which tells us a lot about what the client is trying to project through art. Then we have something called body syndromes. I feel that there is a heavy box on my chest. So with I feel as heavy as, you know, I have a sinking feeling so in my chest. So that's a body syndrome. Then there is handwriting analysis. There are tarot cards. There are angel cards. There are dream analysis. These all come under the category of diagnostic metaphors, which gives us a clue into how to connect with the client. Now, from the therapeutic aspect of metaphors, like the name suggests, they are metaphors that enable to facilitate the therapy process by means of positive, empowering suggestions that bring about the desired and sustained result in the client's life. So we have something called, we have idyllic metaphors. So we can give visual imagery about very pleasant, pristine, happy, nature oriented surroundings in order to radiate positivity, relaxation into the client. We can use metaphorical stories like fables, uh, mythological takeaways that also enable the client to see some light in their current situation. Now, there are other metaphors which are control based, like imagining your current emotional state to be in the form of knobs. And to heighten a positive emotion, one can increase the knob. To lower something which is unpleasant, you can decrease, turn down the knob. So these are all therapeutic metaphors which assist in a change process, which assist in conveying a healing touch to the client, make them feel better. So now there are metaphors which are used to introspect as to what did a particular dream, a thought, an image, why did it speak to you so deeply? So that's called an introspection metaphor. When you look at a specific image or listen to a song and you try to kind of delayer that, okay, so why did I get so emotional on this song, and what did this song remind me of, and what happened in that particular event that the song is reminding me of. So it kind of helps in diagnosing uh, the issue at hand, while at the same time, the same song can also enable us to understand where exactly is it impacting me and what do I need to learn from it. So that's where metaphors can be used as both insightful learnings as well as diagnostic tools. So there are some metaphors that are client generated, like Kiranji just said that, I feel as if I'm in a dark room. I feel I'm trapped in a box. So these help in facilitating the session. Then there are therapist generated metaphors, which the therapist uses very uh, in a very nuanced way, so as to not influence the client, but at the same time convey. So if as a therapist I'm aware that my client is generally religiously inclined, so I may use an example from an epic or from a religious text. If I know the inclination of my client is towards Lord Krishna, so I can use Krishna as a metaphor. I could tap into certain elements of his teachings that could facilitate the client into gaining meaningful takeaways. And as a result of those takeaways, the client could have insights into their current situation, help them navigate through them, explore whatever they have imbibed from the metaphor to apply. So that will be quite a shift. So if the client is inclined in a specific direction, use of the metaphors from that particular field can enable uh, facilitate the client on a road to exploring the insights through the teachings or through whatever takeaways they may be getting. So eventually, it is only the client who decides whether he or she is receptive to a particular metaphor or not. And this is how, through the rapport building, the therapist is also able to understand what kind of metaphor can be used in order to build a connect with the client. So, like as parents, as teachers, as adults to young children, we often have used metaphorical stories from, their favorite superheroes, from cartoons, animations, panchatantras. So, they are very, very helpful in teaching purposes to kind of evolve the understanding of students in the desired direction. So, all these implied conversations have metaphors like a very integral part of everyday conversation. Um, Now, there are a number of kinds of metaphors, like being into therapy, into this space. Uh, Whenever we employ modalities like guided meditation, guided imagination, or a hypnosis-induced state, we use a lot of metaphors to increase, decrease, or describe the feelings and the thoughts. So we could have visual metaphors during a client session. Uh, for example, a very famous uh, intervention that we often use is Ho'oponopono, where the client is walking along the seashore with the sea waves washing away the agony and the pain that is being released from the body. So that is a very visual as well as a kinesthetic metaphor, which enables the client to feel the baggage they are offloading, to feel the relief they are experiencing as a result of all the agony and the pain that they are releasing. Usage of white light, which envelops the body, serving as a protective shield. That is a game changer for many clients who feel very protected and secure as a result of employing this kind of a visual metaphor. Then, a very common one that we use is using a balloon, you know, uh, that floats in the sky, which you release into the sky after kinesthetically blowing into it, and with the balloon carrying away all that is unwanted, unpleasant. So these are some of the visual metaphors. Auditory metaphors could be anything like, um, you know, listening to maybe your own voice as an echo and thinking about the message it is sending, or even feeling good and positive by increasing the knob of the music that is being played in the background, that can transport the client into a very heightened state of the positive emotion the client wants. Um, there are times when some clients love to listen to the silence, and in that silence, they explore the thoughts, the mind, the heart. So these are all metaphorical usages in client sessions. Um, our wave of relaxation, which we induce, entering the body from the crown of your head, moving down your body to every extremity, moving through each and every part, or standing under a waterfall, imagining standing under a waterfall, washing off any unpleasant emotion, feeling a cleansing feeling. So these are all therapeutic metaphors. So, all in all, I am a big advocate of using metaphors because it is a very comfortable space where therapists can enable, uh, bring about a subtle change without even the client uh, directly being aware of it. While at the same time, even the client who may be in a difficult situation will be able to address whatever they are feeling. Uh, Maybe they don't have the right words, the right language to convey what they are feeling, and they use metaphors as constructive tools to be able to convey that this is my problem, this is what I'm feeling, and now I want you to help me out of it. So, uh, I think metaphors are very important, not only in the mental health field as practitioners and as clients, but also in the day to day living as parents, as teachers, as families, as friends, because it gives us a breakthrough into what the person across us is wanting us to notice. In which way does the person want us to see and acknowledge them? So I would say that metaphors are very well crafted tools of diagnosis and change, which are used not only in therapeutic health settings, but also in day to day life. And it helps everyone to convey and address their perceptions symbolically, seek guidance, seek solutions, and um, it is the basis on which a number of uh, creative projects are, you know, launched, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether all of it conveying a certain bent of mind, a way of thinking, in order to reach out to people and explain to them what we are really feeling and thinking. So that's what I feel. Metaphors are as very important, helpful tools in using them as diagnostic and therapeutic implements. Uh, what would you think are the roles of metaphors in our day to day life or in your mental health experiences, if you have any? And how do you think whatever I have tried to convey to you has kind of meant something and struck a chord with you?
Makes a lot of sense, Ritu. And I think the best that we use metaphors is in trying to understand our children. Every day, I think whatever they are trying to convey, at times they use metaphors, and that makes us understand them. Though I
Right.
would really like you to throw some light on if some a client comes and says that I'm in a dark room.
Mm-hmm.
So this is you. We understand the state that the client is in.
Mm-hmm.
How to take it forward?
So if a client says, I feel I'm in a dark room, so the next question which comes to my mind is, okay, so now that you feel that you're in a dark room, how does being in a dark room make you feel? Because I have to try and understand what that darkness implies to the client. What does it mean? Like, uh, is it a safe space for the client? Is it a place where the client feels frightened? Is it a place where the client feels hopeless and can't see light at the end of the tunnel? So I would probably frame my question and ask him, okay, so now that you feel that you are in a dark room, how does that make you feel? And would you be able to uh, connect which part of your life makes you feel like you're in a dark room? So that is how I would take it forward. And depends on whatever answer the client gives me, it will nudge me in the direction of diagnosis in order to prod the client with open ended questions and move further in the session. That's how
Okay.
I would take it.
Okay. Got it.
Mm.
So it will for each individual it might be something different, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like, if it was a positive thing, so the client would probably say, yeah, this darkness makes me feel very, although I feel very cut off from the world, but I feel very safe here because I'm not seen by anyone.
Right, right.
So, it could be that because, before we as individuals might just jump to the conclusion that, oh, it's a dark room. So, the person must be scared, the person must be.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So that so
yeah,
from that point of view only I was asking you how would we handle this? Yeah,
yeah.
so understandable.
Yeah,
For each one, it will be something different, right?
exactly, exactly.
And so,
So
for somebody, it might be a safe space. You never know.
absolutely, absolutely. So, like, that's what I was trying to say, that we cannot use them as conclusive tools. Don't give us conclusions, but they're just indicators that gives us a breakthrough to question them more. Like they can just say, "Oh, I feel so nice. I feel, I had gone for that trek in a jungle and I could hear the sound of the birds and it was all dark, and this makes me feel exactly like that." So it could be that also. It just depends. Or it could be a negative or an uncomfortable takeaway for the client using that metaphor.
And
So,
at one point, I think you mentioned abstract metaphor.
right.
Can you elaborate that a little? You said that this was used as a diagnostic tool, right? Did you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
can you
often,
elaborate on that, what it
yeah.
is and how we use it?
So very often there are people who are unable to explain through words exactly what they are feeling. And this is usually a therapist generated metaphor, to break the ice. So, abstract metaphor is something which is initiated by the therapist, and the therapist just draws a very random kind of a, you know, s- drawing, an abstract drawing, as the word suggests, which makes no sense. And you just put that drawing in front of the client, and you ask them that now that you're seeing this, what does this uh, make you feel? What do you think? What are you trying to understand from this? And take your time. And what do you think is real? What are you relating to it in this? So it is amazing how the same abstract drawing means different to different people, and everybody will take out something different from the same drawing. But whatever the client comes out with, whatever they are seeing out of that abstraction is actually a projection of whatever their subconscious mind is telling them. So somebody might find an abstract drawing with four or five elements, which will be starkly different from another client who will see the same abstract drawing, but pick up four or five other elements. And that is a cue which helps the therapist to take it forward, to again take it as an indicator and go ahead asking more open-ended questions. So suppose the client says, "Oh, I see a well here. I see a dry well here." Okay, so now you see a dry well here. So what does this well make you feel? It makes me feel very, I'm just throwing a random example. Oh, it makes me
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
it is so dry and it's so parched. It just reminds me how I feel. I feel unnourished. I don't feel I am heading towards any direction in my life. I feel, you know, I just feel I'm not good enough and stuff like that. So, it kind of gives us a lead. Or another client sees, okay, I also see a well in this. So how is the well? Oh, the well is full of water. It is brimming with water. It reminds me of how much love I have in my life. This water reminds me of me being nurtured or my nurturing ability. So it's a whole new world which opens up with just one abstraction, with one abstract drawing that we offer the client and stimulate the client into understanding and seeing how they relate to that abstract drawing. So, like when in proper psychology, we have a lot of projective techniques, like we have the ink blot test, the Rorschach, we have the TAT, the theme apperception test. These are all projective techniques, which are the same set of tests that are used with different people. And every individual has their own insight and learning from it. So they are also metaphorical in nature because they are projective. They project what the client is seeing at a subconscious level in their mind. So, yeah, that's how we can use metaphors. Anyone else who would like to add to metaphors with respect to your own experiences, your learnings, or anything, any takeaway from whatever we've just journeyed through? Anyone?
Yeah, for me, the dark room metaphor was an amazing explanation because it really gives clarity as to how we can deal with a situation that the client is facing. Because when they are in the dark room, we can easily ask them how can they get out of it. And
Hmm.
usually, if the client doesn't come up with such a metaphor, or if a client says that I'm stuck, then we usually don't know how to move forward. But if we use this metaphor,
Hmm.
it's very easy to go ahead and plan things with the client. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, thank you. That was so nice to hear. And I also feel, as a therapist myself, we might be in a hurry to get them to a solution. So like you just said that, like our instant thing would be how to get them out of the dark room. But, we first have to even understand that do they even want to get out of the dark room in the first place? So we want to first check with them, you know.
Yes.
So,
For sharing.
uh, we would like to rescue people and get them to a nice desired place. And for all the client would say, I'm very safe here. I would like to be here. And then uh, that's what gives us the direction that, okay, uh, rather than wanting to take them out of the situation. So, yeah,
Yes.
thank you
True.
so much.
Thank you.
So for me also, that was the best example. Although I
Mhm.
started myself as a saying that the client says that I'm in a dark room, but yes, we at times jump to conclusion that dark room means negative,
Right,
and this perspective that it might be positive for the client was
right.
was a new thing for me. And yes, we should not jump to conclusions.
Mhm.
So that was good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for that example.
The and complete webinar was so amazing. Basically, it just reminds us ki how creatively we can use metaphor for diagnostic purposes, for aha moments, to induce some suggestions, or to in fact even for therapy.
Mhm.
So it's just one metaphor that we can use in so many multiple different ways. And the very first thing is without being judgmental.
Right, right,
Without being judgmental, we can
right,
use it in n
right.
number of ways.
I
Right
think,
from our day-to-day activities
right,
to
right,
the therapy,
right,
everywhere.
right. I think being judgmental is too much of a burden also. It's best is just let the other person say,
Actually, it's the nature of human. The moment
yeah,
somebody says anything, we instantly come up to like, acha, aise. We start creating those images in our mind that
right,
despite doesn't have any correlation with the person who is saying, because it is
right,
our judgment, na? तो उन्होंने तो
right,
क्या सोच के बोला that we don't even understand. We
right,
cannot
right,
understand basically until and unless we ask them, कि भाई, what
right,
does this mean?
right, right.
That was amazing
So
webinar.
I
Thank you so
have to
much.
start.
Thank you, Ranjit.
Uh,
Yeah, Smita.
yeah, so I was just wondering, like, if a client is approaching a therapist saying that I'm in a dark room, stuck in a dark room,
Hmm.
why would anybody, if someone is happy being in a dark rooms, then why would they come to help actually? So,
Okay, yeah, that's a very logical way of putting it across. And there are, I mean, 9 out of 10 times, that if the client says, I am in a dark room and I'm stuck in a dark room, both of them are a little different. So, that, yes, if the client says, I'm stuck in a dark room, so, logically, the client wants to be unstuck and doesn't want to stay in the dark room. But again, we need to allow the client to tell us, okay, so now that you are stuck in a dark room, how does it make you feel? What would you like to do about it? So the client has to say that, yes, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I want to move out of this, you know. So even if the client says, I'm stuck in a dark room, like, yeah, I know I'm stuck in a dark room. I am feeling uncomfortable. But, if I go out of this dark room, it's worse outside. It's worse outside. So I rather be uncomfortable in this dark room than go outside. So we really don't know with reference to what is the client saying a specific sentence. Although our immediate thought process will be, yes, the client is stuck in a dark room, so we have to get the client out of the dark room, which makes all the sense. But we still need to use it as an indicator, prod it further through open-ended questions and say, okay, so you feel stuck in the dark room. What would you like to do about it? As then the client will say that I'm not feeling good. I want to come out of this dark room. So, we kind of instigate the
And
client, nudge. Yeah,
and isn't it important to find out when the client is saying I'm stuck in a dark room or I am in a dark room? Isn't that important to know from how the span of time, how much time he's spending in a dark room, and you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Definitely.
isn't it, the gravity of the problem depends on the time, how much time they are in the dark
Absolutely.
room. So
Absolutely.
sometimes even we also feel like, to be in the dark room, that is just for maybe can 10-15 minutes to relax ourselves so that, we are just, cut off from the entire world of that lightning and all.
Right.
It gives us some kind of soothing effect. That can be one reason. May,
Mm-hmm.
but if it is beyond 15 minutes or beyond 1-2 hours, more than an hour or more than, like you say, half a day or something like that, then that is a problem, right?
But
So we
then
can,
that's
at that time
again,
we
that's
cannot.
again, that's your takeaway based on your personal experiences. So,
I was
like you
just
said,
about to say we should
yeah,
be non-judgmental here.
yeah. So, which is very normal. Like you said, 10-15 minutes, because 10-15 minutes is comfortable for you. Then you said, okay, maybe half a day. So, it's like you're speaking for yourself. You're speaking for yourself, and it will be unwise to use that as a yardstick for anyone else, because the client will say, I am so peaceful here, so serene, I'm cut out from all the noise. I wish I could spend a lifetime over here. What do we
That
do
is
then?
true, but then that is true. But then if it is beyond 15 minutes, means it doesn't affect our productivity anywhere, right? Our social life is okay. 15 minutes is normal, but if it is beyond hours together, if the client is wanting to spend time in a dark room, not going out anywhere, then that is a problem, right? Because it affects the productivity.
And so that is again, we have to again understand how the client is taking it. Maybe the client says, I am very productive over here. I feel so creative over here. I'm cut out from the noise. I can do all my creativity, all my, you know, brand building over here. I
But,
am so
but
focused.
how logically that is correct actually?
That's
That's
that's exactly that's exactly the purpose of metaphors. It's illogical. We don't have to be logical, because by logic we mean we are creating a specific formula which everybody should be kind of slotted into. But that is not the premise of a therapy anyway. So we are just, if the client says, okay, I'm stuck in a dark room. Okay, so now that you're stuck in a dark room, how does it make you feel? Okay, I feel so and so. So what would you want to do about it? So either client will say, I want to get out of it, or I don't want to get out of it. If he says, I want to get out of it, then there are more questions. If he says, I don't want to get about out of it, then you are like, okay, so you don't want to get out of it. So what else would you like to do about it? So it's very difficult to understand what are the responses which will come, because based on that response only, you will be leading the client towards a
Yeah,
specific.
that's what I was about to it came to my mind, that this gives you a chance to actually lead the client and kind of delayer the problems
Yeah, yeah,
and understand the client better.
yeah,
Because,
yeah.
like Smita said, that if he feels comfortable in the dark room, why would he come for therapy? Absolutely right. But then there might be something else that is stuck with him.
Exactly,
That is
exactly.
keeping, is it normal to be in a dark room? Again, like Smita said, that 15 minute to theek hai. Uske baad it kind of affects your productivity.
Hmm.
He or she might not, the client might not realize this or might not even be thinking of it before saying that I'm very comfortable here, I want to be here only. So then it gives us a chance to actually nudge the client into coming up with the problems that they are facing.
Hmm.
So
So like I was saying that maybe they are saying that, okay, let's take it that the client is uncomfortable in the dark room. But the client says, no, no, I know I'm uncomfortable, I'm not feeling very good. But if I go out of this dark room, it's worse over there, you know. So then you have to ask the client, so okay, so you're feeling uncomfortable in this room and you are not happy about it. So would you want to change it? So then the client has to say, yes, I want to change it, and I want to be able to come out of this dark room and I want to feel comfortable when I go out of this dark room. So that gives us an entirely new breakthrough into which way we have to go ahead with the client. So it is just an indication, it is just the initial stimulation into the entire
And
questioning. Yeah.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. So, and if we have found out that the client is in the dark room, and also the client want to be in the dark room, like for 15 hours, या फिर एक दिन दो दिन ऐसे he is stuck in the dark room, because like you said, if he's going out, he's feeling, or he or she is feeling more problematic. The outside situations are more problematic to the client, so that is the reason they are stuck, and they want to be in that dark room for most of the day they want to spend in the dark room only.
Mm-hmm.
And now how would we because they are saying that they are happy there, so now how to proceed further, like
Okay. So then if the client says, yeah, I'm happy over here. Okay. So now that you're happy in this dark room, what would you like to do? Then you have to ask them, what is the reason for you to connect with me? And what is it that you're looking for? Now that you're saying you're happy in this dark room, would you want to continue to stay in this dark room? Is it uh, creating any kind of challenges for you, even though you're happy here? Would you like to change it and seek the same happiness elsewhere outside this dark room? So, if a person is coming to us and saying that I'm in a dark room, but I'm very happy, great, perfect. But then what has got you to me? There must be some reason due to which you have come here. So then the client will tell you, yeah, I am happy over here, but I am happy, but I want to be happy outside this room also. I don't want to be happy only inside the room. I want to be happy outside the room also.
or
So
maybe
what
like
happens
what's
is,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
no
I
problem.
just continue. Or like again, like what Smita said, that productivity नीचे हो जाएगी उसकी अगर इतनी देर dark room में रहेगा. So the client might come up and say, although I'm happy here, but I feel that I'm not able to move forward.
Right.
So then I think again, as a therapist, you can take it forward from there.
Yeah. So then you have to tell the client that, okay, without disturbing your happiness, we'll work on the productivity. We'll work on your productivity. Would you like that? And the client will say, yeah, okay, yeah, I think I would like to maintain the happiness that I am deriving in this dark room, but I want to increase my productivity. So then we start working on that. It's only questioning, because questioning is only going to delay, and we have to do nothing. We have to just keep asking, 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 you know, and the client will automatically tell us what they want to do with it.
In fact, now that you said delayering, it just reminded me that we always use the example of an onion to reach the
Right,
core. So
right,
that is also a metaphor, right?
right, right, right. In fact, I was going to put out a video for that also, onion as a metaphor.
Yeah.
So, Smita, does that make sense to you?
yeah, true.
Okay, great. So, any other inputs, or should we?
This was good.
Yeah, it was good. Stimulated the mind, the brain.
Amazingly wonderful webinar. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Helped me also to dig into my own, understanding of things.
Yeah. So it can actually be used to ask the client to think of uh, what would they connect their present life to, and
Mhm.
what kind of a life in future would they want.
Right, right, right,
And if they are able to metaphorically describe both of them, it
right.
just tells you where they are and where they would like to be after therapy.
Exactly, exactly. So, should we wrap up the
Yeah,
webinar?
sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ritu, for this.
Thank you so much, Kiranji, for
Thank you.
having me
It
on
was
this.
really
And
nice, a wonderful session, bringing up this metaphor for us. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Smita. I'm glad you brought up a few questions which kind of stimulated our minds also into exploring it. It was really very insightful. And thank you, everybody, for having me. And until next time, we'll see each other again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so Wellness Whisper is going off the air for about a month or so
Okay.
as